Welcome to Kroon van Gelder. Everybody who works here gets safety instructions before they start. This will be repeated at least once a year. Why? First of all, according to the law, we have to inform all our temporary, casual and permanent staff what they have to do in case of emergency. Second of all, we find safety very important, just as important as quality and quantity. Our goal is 0 incidents and 0 accidents. We hope this corresponds with your company's goal and especially your personal goal. If that's the case, all we have to do is to cooperate to achieve this. When you come working here, you receive an ID badge. It's important to clock when you arrive at the premises and to clock out when you leave. We have to know who is on the premises, so in case of an emergency we can check whether everybody is safe or if there is still someone missing. When you leave after your last day of work, or if you are not coming back the next day, you have to hand in your badge by the front desk service after clocking out. Kroon van Gelder will keep the badge, so when you come back another time, your badge will be ready for you at the front desk where you can pick it up. We assume that your company is SCC certified or equivalent to that, and that you are in the possession of a basic SCC diploma, in Dutch basic VCA, or a safety for operational supervisors diploma, in Dutch VCA vol. In this case, you are familiar with the rules about the use of tools and the use of personal protective wear and equipment. Obviously, you must keep passageways, escape routes and emergency exits clear. Don't block them. You may adapt escape routes when it's required for certain operations. When using the elevators, you have to close the doors completely, otherwise they won't work. And it is important to open the doors completely, especially when you use the forklift truck. When the doors are not completely open, you will break the bottom of the door with the forklift truck. Make sure that the section you work on is isolated from the power supply and that it cannot move while you're working on it. We have 4 power supplies: electricity, steam, hydraulic power and compressed air. When you are allowed to access the premises with your car, you have to follow the Dutch traffic rules. Please note that you are only allowed to park in the designated parking areas. The next slide will show you where they are. Pedestrians have a right of way, that's why the maximum speed is 15 km per hour. Be aware that some drivers seem to forget this rule, so it is always better to give right of way than to take it. You can park on the Kroon van Gelder parking area outside the barriers. On the premises, you can only park on the designated parking areas. These areas are marked yellow. This is the parking area in front of the central storehouse and the parking area between the construction site huts and the power station, or the parking area between the chemical storehouse and the expedition office. You can load and unload anywhere, but when you are finished, please park your car on the parking areas mentioned before. When you park your car somewhere else without permission of the safety officer, you will not be allowed to park on the premises again. Smoking on the premises, in any of the buildings or on roofs, is prohibited. Smoking is only permitted in the smoking cabins indicated by the pictogram you see on this slide. Both using and possessing drugs and alcohol is strictly prohibited. If you have alcohol or drugs on you, you will immediately be removed from the premises. In the production area, you are required to wear personal protective equipment like suitable protective clothing, hearing protection, reflective clothing or vest, and safety shoes. Pictures and instructions what to wear are placed near the doors. During maintenance, when production stops for a day up to 2 weeks, it's also required to wear a safety helmet in the production area. This way, you can always see which personal protective equipment is necessary. Depending on the work activities, you have to wear personal protective equipment. For example, you have to wear safety glasses when grinding, wear safety gloves when using chemical products, or fall arrest equipment when working on heights. It can be very hot at certain locations in the production area. Working there brings a higher risk to your health and safety. That's why we have certain rules for working there. For example, after working for 30 minutes, you have to take a break of 30 minutes. This way your body can cool down. It's important to listen to your own body because the 30 minutes apply to the healthy people. If your immune system is weak, perhaps due to illness, you have to stop before the 30 minutes are over. It's important to drink regularly, preferably non-carbonated drinks. If you sweat a lot, you will need salt to maintain the fluid balance. It helps to have 1 cup of soup a day. If you make a mess, you have to clean it up yourself. Grey waste containers can be found on several locations. The sticker or note on the waste container will tell you what kind of waste you can put in, such as paper or household waste. Possibly your supervisor gives you specific rules about collecting waste. If so, stick to those rules. Because our paper is used to package food, there are strict food safety rules to follow. We marked 2 zones with orange lines where these rules are applicable. You find one zone in the production hall between the drum wrapping machines from PM1 and PM2 and the roll wrapping robot. You find the other zone in the roll storage where 2 wrapping machines are. If you enter these zones during production, please take care your hands are clean, disinfected. Don't eat or drink and don't touch unpacked paper. In case of danger or an emergency, call 333. This number can only be dialed with the internal phone system of Kraan van Gelder, so walk to an office or operation room. When you call, report which type of assistance you need and where it is needed. In case of fire, you can also use manual fire alarm. You can find them near the fire hose. The Kraan van Gelder Fire Brigade and the Velsen Fire Brigade will be alarmed simultaneously. When the evacuation alarm sounds, the department or even the building has to be evacuated. The sound of the alarm is a slow whoop. A red flashing light is used in the production area. When you hear the alarm or see the flashing lights, or when you are asked to leave, please leave the area immediately and go to the technical service workplace. This is the assembly point. Once you are there, you will get further instructions. Every first Wednesday of the month, we test the alarm signal at 12:15 p.m. You don't have to respond to this alarm. On this map you see the technical service department as assembly point. The building is marked with number 14. If you need first aid, you can call the alarm number 333. Kraan van Gelder wants to prevent incidents and accidents. That's why we need your help in reporting any unsafe situation. This way we can take measures before it is too late. If there is an incident or accident, you must report it immediately to your Kraan van Gelder project manager or the Kraan van Gelder safety officer. We will investigate what happened and why, so we can take measures to prevent it from happening again. If your work involves the risk of fire, you have to have a permit, unless your work is carried out in the technical service workshop. A permit is also required for working in enclosed areas, participating in electrical engineering activities, and working in the control room. You can fill in the permit with a Kraan van Gelder project leader. You must follow the rules of this permit. The paper machine can be dangerous, especially when there is a failure, because then the steam hood doors will open. Lots of moving parts and hot parts will be within reach. Be careful and only do what you've been asked to do. When welding or grinding, use protective screens to prevent damage to the machine. Do not leave your tools behind. We want to prevent people from falling from heights. That is why we ask everyone to use ladders and stairs that are approved. Don't take a ladder which is not approved. There will be an increased risk of an accident. When you bring your own mobile scaffold, it has to be built up according to regulations. Fixed scaffolds will be built up by a scaffolding company. Scaffolds can only be used when the scaffold cart is attached and when it is ready to be used. When there is still a risk of falling despite the precautions, you have to wear full arrest equipment. Cranes and forklift trucks may only be operated by certified staff and with the permission of your Kraan van Gelder project manager. Riding on a forklift truck is forbidden. If someone needs to lift a load over your workplace, you will have to leave for a moment. It's forbidden to carry any load over people. If you don't follow the safety regulations, you will get a warning. The second time the safety regulations are violated, you will be sent away. Obviously, no one wants this to happen. We want to do everything we can to cooperate with you in order to prevent incidents and accidents from happening. Our motto is safe and sound to work, safe and sound back home.